Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Friday.
Is it really?
Well, let's get right into it, CJ. What are we going to start with?
What are we going to start with? Well, I think we're going to start with something that's nauseating.
Oh, that doesn't narrow the field.
No, it tends not to, but I think you might appreciate this. As we are all aware, he who shall not be named released a promo video for the city which shall not be named. So let's go to that video.
The emphasis is on the word community.
That prides itself on making things.
It's the culture of Portugal and the culture of Fall River.
History, hard work, manufacturing.
We're making it and we're moving it forward.
It's a great place to live, work, and create.
If you think you know Fall River, think again. Fall River isn't a place you pass through, it's a destination. Fall River isn't on the mend, it's on the rise. Fall River isn't about accepting your fate, it's about creating your destiny. We can revive pride and instill positivity. We can make room for this rise. We can make it here.
Would you like to share your story?
Wait a minute. Okay, sorry. Well, look.
Would you like to share your story, Chip?
Yeah, look. It's a promo video.
It's a campaign ad.
It's a campaign ad. You're right. But the thing is, it's really. I mean, they actually didn't even realize what they were doing. They basically showed some of the problems that we have in Fall River very, very graphically. Okay, number one, they showed manufacturing. Manufacturing has all but disappeared in Fall River. I mean, you know, I hate to tell a man, I know he's a fairly young man, but he should know a little bit about the history of the city that he grew up in. At one time, we had 95 working mills. I think actually over 100 working mills. It was one of the leading textile cities in the world, not in the nation, in the world. That's the reason it was called the Spindle City. So it's almost shining a light on the fact that that's one of our primary industries, an industry that's all but disappeared. And the thing that struck me most about this was showing Matouk. Because, you know something? Matouk is exactly what Fall River is. You've got a guy that makes towels that are $500 a piece. And if you multiply $500 times 52 weeks, you come up with about $26,000, which, by the way, is greater than the average individual income, not household, but individual income in the city of Fall River. So it just goes to show that things haven't changed much in Fall River from the time we had mills and people were chained to the mills. You want to close? If you want to close that door, I'm getting all kinds of noise in here.
Well, sometimes that happens, Chip. We just gotta deal with live TV. Sometimes we gotta deal with the background noise.
But yeah, well, you know, I mean, they see the on the air sign, but then again, that should be in the video. But let me get back to Matouk. Let me get back to Matouk. It's a company that comes in, pays their workers very little, doesn't employ a whole bunch of people. 300, and that's the cornerstone of our economy, you know. So, and they make towels that are unaffordable by the people who live here. So it shows how much we've progressed from the time where a man had to go in front of the United States Senate because of the abject poverty that mill workers suffered in the city of Fall River, the abject poverty that was referred to in the movie Love Story with Ryan O'Neal when he referred to his father as having a few mills in Fall River where he took advantage of the workers. So here we have a guy that owns a company that doesn't live in Fall River. I'm sure he lives in a mansion somewhere, that makes towels for the rich and famous on the backs of the people who can't afford what they even produce. So, I mean, look, the FR logo, you know, a third grader could have done better than that. And the other fact is, and the thing I really want to get to, because they're going to say I'm bashing the rebranding or branding campaign, and I am. Because branding or rebranding or whatever you want to call it, or remarketing, didn't work in Flint, Michigan, didn't work in Detroit, Michigan, didn't work in Gary, Indiana, and doesn't work in Fall River. Why? Because those cities and their economies were built on working people working. And when the auto industry dried up, Detroit went in the toilet. Flint, Michigan went in the toilet. When the steel industry dried up, Gary, Indiana went in the toilet. When the textile industry dried up, Fall River went in the toilet. But our great politicians spent more time giving all their friends jobs and pay raises and didn't address the economic issues we have in Fall River. You know, if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. The fact is, whether it's Detroit, Michigan, Flint, Michigan, Gary, Indiana, or Fall River, Massachusetts, branding does not work, rebranding doesn't work, marketing doesn't work. What we have to do in the city of Fall River is rebuild its economy. Rebuild the city, not market it. Rebuild it, not brand it. Because if you put a fancy name on sawdust, you're not going to get a lot of customers anyway, and I've said that before. This whole thing is a sham. $100,000 of taxpayers' money urinated in a hole so this guy can feel good. Who feels good about this program? All the yuppies, all the people who can't afford Matuk towels. Not the average person in Fall River that's got to work 2 jobs just to pay his bills and not even on time. You think I'm angry? You're damn right I'm angry.
Well,
Because I know those people, and I see the people on fixed income, and this is a crock that you need, not hip boots, you need chest-high waders to get through.
well, and on that, we're going to segue to a spoof on this lovely little campaign, and it was done by a local media person with one of those contrary media outlets, and it's quite interesting, so enjoy.
Ah, look, the new Fall River logo. How pretty, squiggly lines. Looks like a puzzle to me. Let me see if I can get through this maze. Let's see, start here and go this way. Nah, stuck. Go this way. Nah, stuck again. We'll try the other way. Go up this way, around, down here. Nope, stuck. All the way down here. Ah, another dead end. Just like Fall Eve. Once you here, you stuck.
Wow. Great work.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dave Souza from the local newspaper. He's a photographer here in the city, and he made that and he posted it. And I asked him for permission to use it. He says, "Do you really want to?" He's like, "Do you care?" I said, "I don't care. Do you care?" He's like, "If I cared, I wouldn't have made it." So,
Can you put up that logo again, please? Thank you. Who the hell is going to know what that means? That's not from Fall River. I don't care. Are we going to spend what, $150 million to send a flyer to everybody in the United States so they'll know exactly what that means? And I'll tell you what, we could have got that done for free. If we would have had a contest from the general public or from graphic arts in our local schools and even our local colleges, we could have probably done better. If we remember Rhode Island with the warmer and cooler, the best commercial that was made was by the employees of Benny's, the Benny store, not the people that they paid $1 million for. Let's get this perfectly clear, people. These things are political ploys to make you feel like they're doing something, and secondly, get their friends rich. They hire these people, and number one, let's look at ours. Fall River always does it better when we're looking at who does it worse. Because we got a company, we paid them money, and they took a slogan that's already been used by 2 other people. So they plagiarized the "Make It Here," and then they come up with a logo that a 3rd grader could come up with. This is what we got for $100 grand. Really? And now we're going to put stickers with a logo that nobody knows what it means on something. What do you do with stickers? I don't know about you, but I hate stickers. When I get stuff with stickers, the first thing I do is peel them off. I don't look at them. I don't go, oh, wow, look at this beautiful logo that I can't figure out what it means, but maybe they'll send a pamphlet with it to tell everybody, or maybe another political commercial for the mayor. You know, this is this is the problem with Fall River. There's never been a legitimate attempt to rebuild the city. We have to rebuild its economy. This is a blue-collar city, like Detroit, like Flint, like Gary. It's a city that will never be Newton. You're not going to have this city populated by PhDs and CEOs who work in Boston, who go over to Newton and Wellesley and Brookline to live outside the city. And they have $100,000, $113,000 base family incomes and better. This was a city that once actually had a lot of businesses. You could walk up Pleasant Street, you could walk up South Main Street. There were restaurants, there were clothing shops, there were women's clothing shops. There were a lot of things. Was it a rich city? No. But was it a working city? Yes. You know, all this political horse manure is just to camouflage the fact that they're not doing what they should have done. Bring jobs in. Figure out a way to bring jobs in. Not figure out how to make a logo. You know, this is the only thing that will resurrect Fall River. When people have money, businesses will never, ever survive in Fall River when people don't have money. And you know, everybody's upset at Donald Trump, and whether you agree or disagree with what he's doing, at least you got to give him credit for doing what he said. He's trying to do something. And all the politicians in Washington, they're livid, because that's not what they normally do. What do politicians do? They talk, and they have studies, and they have investigations, and they posture like they did with prescription drugs. What happened? Nothing. And that's what happens. Government is nothing more than a giant bureaucracy where everybody sticks their head in the trough, does a lot of talking, and nothing ever gets done. Look at Fall River. We rebranded under Mayor Carrere. Pride citywide. We've rebranded a million times. Branding doesn't work. The city has to change. And in order for the city to change, we can't rebrand or brand or market. We have to deal with the foundation of the city, which is its people. Its people have to be employed. We have to change this city from a welfare city on all levels. Even our bonds are welfare, because the city's bonds are underwritten by the state. We have to change the complexion of this city and change it back to what it really was. Let's not try to be what we're not. We're not going to be a Newton. We're never going to be a Newton. But we can be a blue-collar working city again. But we can only do that when the people who we elect work toward that goal, not fill us full of crap like this, spend our tax money, and what do we get? We've done this dance before. How many times has the chamber of the Bristol County Chamber now, it used to be the chamber of the city that can no longer be put in a sentence if you want to make any money. How many times have they attempted to rebrand, remarket, bring businesses in? They're not very successful. Why? Any business in their right mind looks at the city, they go, Jesus, this is the poorest city in the state. They got the lowest per capita income. They got the most people living below the poverty level. I mean, who's going to buy my product? Who do you get coming to Fall River? Matuk to make $500 towels to sell to the rich people and pay his people peanuts, and then he drives, at the end of the workday, he drives to his mansion, wherever that may be. I can tell you he's not living in a 3-decker in Fall River. Or Amazon, who pay their people peanuts and work them like slaves. And by the way, we don't have that many people working at Amazon anyway.
From Fall River. Plenty
Fall
from
River.
everywhere else.
Yeah, got plenty of people working here, but not a lot of people from Fall River.
Right.
But you know, that's the key. The key to this is let's cut the BS. Let's cut the BS. You know, we've been listening to this BS for the last 4 or 5 mayors. They all do the same thing. Whether it was Eddie Lambert having his Center for Policy Analysis do studies on everything and nothing got done, to Jazel Correa with his, I'm going to build a garden on a parking garage when he ran for office, and now he's spending his entire life, campaigning for the next election. Everything is, even this ad is a political ad for him.
Right.
So the fact is that, this is bull. This is why he has a city administrator, a chief of staff, and all, so he can do nothing but campaign. He's like the Queen of England. All he does, he's ceremonial. So now he's going to campaign. You know something? You got a job. You're making money. Instead of running around, instead of going to your talk show every morning and telling everybody how good you are, go prove how good you are. Get your butt back in the 6th floor and work. Try to get us some jobs. I don't want to see logos. I don't want to see Matuk. Because if I buy 2 Matuk towels, I can't put a roof on my house. So, the fact is that that's the way it is. But, this is a symptom of what the problem is in Fall River. The people have to wake up and elect people to office who are committed to rebuilding Fall River. Not people who will say, oh, I've been here for 8 generations. We worked so hard on this program. Yeah, I had 8 generations of people sucking on the political dole. And we all know who that was, don't we?
I believe he opened that press conference.
City councilor who used to work for CDA, whose brother also got a political appointed job, whose entire family has been sucking off the political dole for generations. Hey. And that's not me that said it. He said it. 8 generations we've been making it in Fall River. No, you haven't been making it in Fall River. You've been getting subsidized by the taxpayers of Fall River.
No, his hashtag is Fall River. Take it from here.
Yeah, and his family's been taken from the taxpayer for years.
Well, the thing that bothers me a lot about this whole campaign is, number one, every single person that's on this committee, and I can name them all have something to do with their business being advertised here. You have one person who is a candidate for city council. You have a city councilor. You have somebody from Portugalia, which, by the way, he only mentioned Portugal. I don't know if he remembered that Fall River also has Polish, German, French, Cambodian, Asian, Lebanese.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess he forgot all of them because I guess only Portuguese is important. And I'm not saying that to be denigrating to any particular culture. I'm just saying, he missed a whole bunch of other cultures. But again, we're the city of alleged diversity, which don't get me going on that. Then this is the same individual who, as a city councilor, fought tooth and nail that said, no elected official shall appear in any promo video for the city. I guess it's okay when it was Will Flanagan, but when it's Jazel Correa, my face has got to be on everything. That is what you call self-promoting.
That is, as their favorite word, disingenuous.
Exactly, their favorite word. And 3 businesses were focused there. Matuk, Portugalia, and I think the Lizzie Borden house. I mean,
Well, look, it's pretty sad when the only thing you can basically show is like the Lizzie Borden house and
they showed even the aerial views. The aerial views was of a park basketball court. It was of the gates of the city. It was of the shrine that is closed because it's just about condemned. The basement's open. And granted, they're pretty views. I'm not saying they're not. They did it very well on getting the pretty views. Oh, excuse me, 4 businesses, done.
Now, if you take an aerial view of Detroit, it doesn't look as bad as it
Exactly.
Remember that old Bette Midler song, From a Distance?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, from a distance. Everything looks great from a distance.
Right.
And that's the key.
And again, like I said, 4 businesses, because Dunny's, which is a bar downtown.
Which is closed now, isn't it?
I think it's still open. I think.
Well, it's shrunk. Though.
Yeah, it's shrunk.
They sold half of it to a restaurant.
Right,
now.
to Sherry's.
That's how good they were doing.
Right.
That's how good their business was.
Well, you know
They had
why?
to sell half
You know
of
why
it,
the
so.
drunken Gilhoolies weren't around. And as I said to many people that were at this premiere of this video, by the way, he's touting 100 people plus were there. The majority of people that were there were city employees. City employees. I wonder if the mayor, cracked the whip or something. There were department heads, it was city employees. So don't give me that he had major support on this. And don't give me that broadcasting this logo, okay, is on City Hall at night is going to cause people to stop here. It may cause a couple of accidents, but...
Well, yeah, you're right, CJ. That is the most ludicrous assumption I have ever seen, that this is somehow going to bring people to Fall River to make it here. Now, I can see somebody who lives in the South Shore, the North Shore, Newton, Wellesley, somewhere. That's what they always do when they move. When they relocate to a city, that's what I always do. I look at their logo.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I do. I look at their logo. I don't look at the educational system,
Nope.
the crime statistics, the demographics of the people who live in the community, the availability of stores and restaurants, which we rank way at the bottom. Absent Portuguese, which I will say we were probably the leading city in the state for Portuguese
No,
restaurants.
I think we're in the country.
Yeah, maybe in the nation, yeah.
I think even in Portugal, we
That's
have
right.
more than they
Yeah,
do.
We probably do. But the entire absurdity of this entire thing, it's like people, they're insulting your intelligence with stuff like this. Do you really believe that somebody who has money is going to relocate to Fall River when they look at the failing educational system, the crime, the opioid addiction, the fact that we're in the top 50 of every negative category, not in our own words, but by things like the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, all these things. So again, I get back to my new marketing campaign. Let's rebuild Fall River. And I will tell you, I will not vote for a city councilor or a mayor or a school committeeman that I don't hear that in their platform, that they understand that we've been going in the wrong direction. This marketing crap and all these study crap, and the fact is that our 1%ers love this because they can afford Matuk towels and they can afford to have their head up their derriere. But the guy living in a 3-decker on a side street in Fall River, who can barely make it, knows how full of crap this really is. And you know something? We're never going to change it until the people rise up. People have to rise up and take a shot. You don't like Trump? Tough. But the country rose up and said, look, we're sick of politicians. And now we got demonstrations and everybody's upset. Well, they can be as upset as they want.
Right.
Work for change. But don't firebomb things and don't, look, this is all crap. You don't shut down the government that you say you wanted. If Hillary was in, they'd all be throwing a party. And if the Republicans did this, and I am an independent, I'm not a Republican, they would be outraged at these people. So these people only want government when it suits them. They only want to play by the rules when the rules suit them. Otherwise, it's go get a stick and make a sign and start whining and getting hysterical over the fact that, hey, get over it. This is our president for the next 4 years, and let's see what we can do. And if he does something you don't like, obviously, you have every right to But you can't shut down the government because you don't like everything that happens. I don't like every vote that's taken either. But the fact is, I'll go to the city council and I'll complain. And I said my piece, and that's the end of it. We got to move on. You got to live with the government that we have, and let's live in the city that we have. But let's look at this city objectively and stop buying this absolute manure. I mean, this is going to bring people to Fall River. And F with little dots over the top. I don't know whether it's an eye that got drunk and the dots fell off. I don't even know what the hell that is.
Well, it's as a controversial group on Facebook says, hashtag FR, fake it here. When he announced the hashtag, literally moments after, my phone was going nuts with hashtag shoot it up here, hashtag heroin's here. I mean, the stuff that was, and a lot of vulgar stuff too. I mean, you can put an F there and you can start going crazy with that hashtag. But I honestly don't believe that this is going to be a good campaign at all. And the worst part is he violated the law again, because he entered into this and he didn't even have the funding in place. Hence why he needs to transfer that $30,000. Now, from what I understand, he's also going to need more money down the line. He's already formed his nonprofit tourism commission or committee or whatever it may be, or he started to form it. And Kelsey Garcia is going to be on this committee. He announced her. Well, guess what? Isn't there sworn affidavit somewhere? I know I have a copy of it, where Carl Garcia gave him money for his business that he's never going to see again. So, I'm going to say this to you very clearly, viewers, to you, Mr. Mayor. This is an old legal argument, and it holds true every time. What would a reasonable and prudent individual assume, presume, or divide in what they see? And that's what you got to base this on. The problem is there aren't a lot of reasonable and prudent individuals at Fall River, because instead they fall into Fall River is not the microcosm of the nation in its retaliation towards Trump. Fall River was the birth mother of it, because when you attack your guy, your mayor, your city councilor, all of a sudden the firebombs start flowing, whether it's actual firebombs or whether it's words or scratching your car. The retaliation becomes so wide, so broad, it's unbelievable. We not only have that with our citizens, we have that with our government, we have that with our agencies, we have that with everything in this city. If you do this, I'm going to get you and I'm going to do that. And then, you have a mayor who's going around saying, when they're negative and you hear this negativity, close your eyes, sit back, and think positive. It'll make it go away. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Mayor, as they stick that gun in your mouth and they cock the trigger and they cock the hammer on that gun, I want you to close your eyes and think, he's not going to shoot. It's going to go away. It's going to be nice. Bam! Oh, okay? That's what's going to happen. You cannot close your eyes and think positivity. Rose-colored glasses don't work. We've proved it. Over and over and over again.
Pragmatism. You have to be realist. Listen, look, let's face it. I have said it, and I still contend, you cannot make this place Newton. You are not going to get upper-income people ever to move to Fall River to any degree. We need to bring in working people, and the only way we bring them in is by having jobs and by having a community that will welcome a working-class person. And so let's start not looking at it through rose-colored glasses. Let's look at it the way it is. Because if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. But we're broke, and we better fix it.
We got to rebuild it all.
Stay angry.
See you on Monday. And shit, Monday's your last show for a while.
For a few shows.
Yep. So we'll see you on Monday. Stay angry. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Enjoy. Go Pats.